2007, in Kolkata, West Bengal, a secret interfaith marriage between Rizwanur Rahman, a humble computer graphics trainer, and Priyanka Todi, daughter of a powerful industrialist, sparked a fierce battle of family vendetta, police intimidation, and political controversy. The tragic and mysterious death of Rizwanur near a railway track exposed the dark underbelly of societal pressures and communal tensions in India. This haunting story of love, power, and injustice continues to resonate as a stark reminder of the high cost of challenging entrenched social norms in Kolkata and beyond. In the bustling city of Kolkata, 2007, Rizwanur Rahman was just another young man trying to make his way in the world. At 30 years old, Rizwanur was a computer graphics trainer, skilled and passionate about his work. But beneath the surface of his ordinary life was a secret that would soon turn into a nightmare. A secret marriage that would shake the foundations of his world and expose deep social divides. Rizwanur had fallen in love with Priyanka Todi, the daughter of one of Kolkata's most prominent industrialists, Ashok Todi. Priyanka was from a wealthy, influential Hindu family, while Rizwanur was a Muslim from a modest background. Their love crossed religious and social boundaries that many in their circles were unwilling to accept. They married quietly, without the knowledge or approval of Priyanka's family. The secrecy was necessary. In India, interfaith marriages, especially between a Muslim man and a Hindu woman from an affluent family, often face intense scrutiny and opposition, and this was no exception. When Ashok Todi and his family found out about the marriage, their reaction was swift and severe. They were displeased, to say the least, and they had the means to act on that displeasure. What followed was a series of events that would turn Rizwanur's life upside down. Priyanka's family allegedly used their influence to bring pressure, not just socially, but through the police as well. Reports suggest that Kolkata police officers were involved in coercing Rizwanur to separate from Priyanka. Police summoned him multiple times, warning him to annul the marriage. Despite the threats, Rizwanur stood firm. He refused to bow to the pressure, determined to stay with the woman he loved. But the harassment didn't stop. Rizwanur's life became a constant struggle against intimidation. Friends and family members were drawn into the conflict. Allegedly, payments were made to Rizwanur's relatives to persuade him to end the marriage. The police visits became more frequent and menacing. It was a battle of wills, Rizwanur's resolve against the combined might of a powerful industrial family and the law enforcement apparatus. The tension reached a breaking point in September 2007. On the 21st of that month, Rizwanur Rahman was found dead near a railway track in Kolkata. The initial reports from the police suggested suicide. The Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, which later took over the case, officially ruled his death a suicide, but many were not convinced. The circumstances surrounding his death raised troubling questions. How could a young man with so much to live for end his life so suddenly? Was it really suicide, or was Rizwanur driven to this tragic end by relentless harassment and threats? The public outcry was immediate and intense. People saw in Rizwanur's death a symbol of the societal and communal tensions that still plague India. The clash of religion, class, and power. The case quickly became a political and social flashpoint in West Bengal. Protests erupted, demanding justice for Rizwanur and accountability from those who had allegedly harassed him. The media spotlight shone brightly on the powerful Todi family and the Kolkata police, both accused of conspiring to break the marriage and drive Rizwanur to his death. The Calcutta High Court stepped in and ordered a thorough investigation by the CBI. This was no ordinary probe. The investigation charged Ashok Todi, his relatives, and several police officers with abetment to suicide and criminal conspiracy. The court rejected attempts to dismiss these charges, signaling that the case was far from closed. As the investigation unfolded, more disturbing details emerged. It appeared that the marriage had been actively sabotaged, with attempts to bribe Rizwanur's relatives and intimidate him into separation. The involvement of police officers raised serious concerns about abuse of power and corruption. Then, in 2009, the case took an even darker turn. Arindam Manna, the CBI officer leading the investigation, was found murdered under suspicious circumstances. His death sent shockwaves through the community and cast a shadow over the entire case. Many feared that his murder was meant to silence the investigation and cover up the truth. The murder of the investigating officer added a chilling layer to an already complex and tragic story. It raised fears that evidence was being tampered with and witnesses intimidated, making the pursuit of justice even more difficult. Rizwanur Rahman's story is not just about one man's tragic death. It is about the collision of love, power, religion, and social hierarchy in modern India. It exposes how deeply entrenched prejudices and the misuse of authority can destroy lives, and it reminds us of the ongoing struggle for justice in a society where the powerful often go unchallenged. The morning of September 21, 2007 started like any other in Calcutta, but by the end of the day, the city was shaken by the discovery of a young man's lifeless body near the railway tracks. That young man was Rizwanur Rahman. Rizwanur's body was found close to the Sealdah railway station, one of the busiest transit points in the city. The scene was grim, a man lying dead near the tracks, his life abruptly ended. The initial police report labeled it a suicide, a tragic but straightforward conclusion. The Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, India's premier investigative agency, later took over the case and upheld the suicide ruling. But from the very beginning, there were cracks in the official story. Rizwanur's friends and supporters found it hard to believe that a man who had recently married the woman he loved would take his own life so suddenly and violently. They pointed to the harassment he had faced in the weeks leading up to his death, the police summons, the family threats, the social pressure, and suspected something far darker. The media quickly picked up the story, and the narrative began to shift from a simple suicide to a possible case of coercion and foul play. Reporters uncovered details about the secret marriage between Rizwanur and Priyanka Todi, the daughter of the wealthy industrialist Ashok Todi. The revelation that Priyanka's family had allegedly used their influence to pressure Rizwanur to separate from her added fuel to the fire. Public outrage grew as more people learned about the circumstances surrounding Rizwanur's death. Protests erupted across Calcutta and beyond, with demonstrators demanding justice and accountability. The case became a symbol of the struggle against social and religious discrimination and the misuse of power by the elite. The Calcutta High Court responded to the public outcry by ordering a detailed investigation by the CBI. This was a critical turning point. The CBI's involvement meant that the case would be scrutinized at the highest levels, and there was hope that the truth would finally come to light. As the investigation progressed, the CBI charged several individuals with serious offenses. Ashok Todi, Priyanka's father, was accused of abetment to suicide and criminal conspiracy. Several police officers who had been involved in summoning and pressuring Rizwanur were also named. The court refused to dismiss these charges, despite efforts by the accused to have the case dropped. The investigation revealed disturbing details about how the marriage had been sabotaged. It appeared that Priyanka's family had allegedly paid off some of Rizwanur's relatives to persuade him to annul the marriage. Police officers, instead of protecting the law and the couple's rights, were complicit in the harassment. The case exposed a web of power, influence, and prejudice. It showed how a wealthy family could allegedly manipulate the police and the legal system to enforce their will. It also highlighted the vulnerabilities faced by individuals like Rizwanur, caught between love and societal expectations. Then, in 2009, the case took a shocking new turn. Arindam Manna, the CBI officer leading the investigation into Rizwanur's death, was himself found murdered. His death sent shockwaves through the investigative community and the public. Many feared that Mana's murder was an attempt to derail the investigation and cover up the truth. The circumstances of Mana's death were suspicious. Questions arose about whether he had been silenced because he was getting too close to uncovering the real story behind Rizwanur's death. The murder raised serious concerns about the safety of investigators and the integrity of the case. Despite these challenges, the investigation continued. The Calcutta High Court ordered a fresh probe into Rizwanur's death, this time considering the possibility that it was not suicide, but murder. The court's decision was a beacon of hope for those seeking justice. Rizwanur Rahman's death was no longer just a tragic incident. It had become a complex, legal and social battle. It exposed the dark underbelly of power dynamics in India, where wealth and influence can potentially override justice and human rights. As the case moved forward, it continued to captivate the nation. It forced a conversation about interfaith marriages, police accountability, and the protection of individual freedoms against societal pressures. The tragic death of Rizwanur Rahman had already sent shockwaves through Kolkata and beyond, but the story was far from over. What followed was a long, arduous battle to uncover the truth and hold those responsible accountable. This was not just a legal fight. It was a struggle against powerful forces that sought to bury the case and silence those seeking justice. After the Calcutta High Court ordered the Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) to take over the case, the agency began a painstaking probe. The CBI's investigation was complicated by the involvement of influential individuals and the alleged collusion of police officers. But the agency was determined to get to the bottom of the matter. One of the most significant developments was the filing of charges against Ashok Todi, the industrialist and father of Priyanka Todi, along with several of his relatives. They were accused of abatement to suicide and criminal conspiracy. The charges alleged that the Todi family had orchestrated a campaign to break the marriage, including pressuring Rizwanur through police officials and bribing his relatives. The police officers involved in summoning Rizwanur repeatedly and allegedly threatening him were also named in the charges. This raised serious questions about the abuse of power by law enforcement and their role in the tragedy. Despite the mounting evidence, the accused parties attempted to have the charges dismissed, but the court refused their pleas, signaling that the judiciary was willing to hold even the powerful accountable. This was a crucial moment in the case, as it demonstrated that no one was above the law. Meanwhile, the investigation was rocked by the murder of Arindam Mana, the CBI officer leading the probe. His death in 2009, under suspicious circumstances, sent a chilling message. Many feared that Mana had been killed to derail the investigation and protect those responsible. The murder intensified public scrutiny and raised concerns about witness intimidation and evidence tampering. The Calcutta High Court responded by ordering a fresh investigation into Rizwanur's death, this time treating it as a possible murder rather than a suicide. This move was a victory for Rizwanur's family and supporters, who had long maintained that he was driven to death by coercion and threats. The renewed probe uncovered more disturbing details about the lengths to which the Todi family and their associates allegedly went to sabotage the marriage. It revealed a pattern of intimidation, manipulation, and misuse of power that went beyond just social disapproval. Throughout the legal proceedings, Rizwanur's family fought tirelessly for justice. Their struggle highlighted the challenges faced by ordinary citizens when confronting wealthy and influential adversaries. The case became emblematic of broader social issues in India: the intersection of religion, class, and power, and the fight for individual rights. Public interest in the case remained high, with media coverage keeping the spotlight on the investigation and court hearings. The case sparked debates about interfaith marriages and the need for stronger protections for couples facing societal opposition. Despite the progress made, justice in the Rizwanur Rahman case has been slow and fraught with obstacles. The alleged culprits have not all been convicted, and the shadow of Arindam Manna's murder continues to loom large over the investigation. Yet, the case has left an indelible mark on Indian society. It exposed the dark realities of coercion and abuse of power, and it galvanized public opinion on issues of religious tolerance and police accountability. Rizwanur Rahman's story remains a powerful reminder of the cost of standing up for love and justice in the face of overwhelming opposition. It challenges us to reflect on the societal changes needed to prevent such tragedies in the future. As we conclude this narrative, it's clear that Rizwanur's death was more than an isolated incident. It was a catalyst for a broader conversation about equality, justice, and human rights in India. The story of Rizwanur Rahman is one that continues to resonate deeply within India's social and legal landscape. It is a tale of love challenged by rigid societal norms, of power wielded to intimidate and control, and of a young man whose life was tragically cut short under suspicious circumstances. Rizwanur's secret marriage to Priyanka Todi was more than just a union between two individuals. It was a bold crossing of religious and class divides in a society where such boundaries are often strictly policed. The backlash from Priyanka's family and the alleged complicity of the police revealed the entrenched prejudices and systemic issues that many face when defying social expectations. The official narrative of Rizwanur's death as a suicide was met with skepticism, and rightly so. The subsequent investigations, court proceedings, and the involvement of the CBI exposed a disturbing pattern of harassment, coercion, and abuse of power. The charges against Ashok Todi, his relatives, and police officers underscored the gravity of the conspiracy to sabotage the marriage. The murder of Arindam Manna, the investigating officer, added a chilling dimension to the case. It highlighted the risks faced by those who dare to pursue justice in the face of powerful adversaries. His death remains a stark reminder of the challenges in ensuring accountability within the system. Despite the hurdles, the Rizwanur Rahman case sparked widespread public outrage and political debate. It brought to light the urgent need for legal protections for interfaith couples and greater oversight of police conduct. The case became a symbol of resistance against social injustice and the misuse of authority. For Rizwanur's family and supporters, the fight for justice has been long and painful, but their perseverance has kept the case alive in the public consciousness. It has inspired conversations about tolerance, equality, and human rights that continue to this day. In reflecting on this tragic story, we are reminded of the human cost of societal intolerance and the importance of safeguarding individual freedoms. Rizwanur Rahman's legacy is not just about a life lost, but about the ongoing struggle to create a more just and inclusive society. His story challenges us to confront uncomfortable truths about power, prejudice, and the rule of law. It calls on us to support those who stand up for love and justice, even when the odds are stacked against them. As we close this narrative, Rizwanur Rahman's case remains a poignant example of how personal tragedy can illuminate broader social issues. It is a call to action to ensure that no one else suffers the same fate because of who they love or where they come from. Thank you for watching our deep dive into the Rizwanur Rahman case. If you found this story compelling, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who care about justice and true crime stories. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think really happened to Rizwanur? Drop your opinions and questions in the comments below. Let's start a respectful conversation. And if you want to stay updated with more in-depth true crime documentaries and stories that matter, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon